The secret to understanding violin tone is actually a lot simpler than you may think, but it's also easier said than done. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how wrist flexibility on the right hand affects violin tone. And hello, my name is Eric, and I am your guide to helping you become a better violinist. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, and if you like the content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications. That way you get notified for when new videos come out. It really helps me out as a content creator to provide really amazing violin videos for you. If you have your violin with you, I recommend that you follow along. Think of this as a how-to step-by-step tutorial on how to achieve good violin tone with wrist flexibility. So the wrist flexibility is going to be the main topic of today's video. When you have your violin up, you may have seen other violinists play like this with the wrist down and the knuckles bent. However, you may be struggling with that and you may end up going something like this. Now, there are professional violinists out there that play like that, and that's called a Russian bow grip. But in today's video, I'm going to be emphasizing the Franco-Belgian bow grip, specifically from here to there. Now, believe it or not, a lot of violin tone changes between here and there. And your goal is to have a nice flat wrist and knuckles. So you want your wrist, maybe it's okay to lift it up a little bit, and I'll explain as to why, but you want your fingers curved. You want your knuckles and your wrist to be in a straight line this way. If you want to do this, that's fine, but you definitely don't want to go above this line here. That's going to be the trouble here. So you want your wrist and your knuckles to be a straight line this way. Now, how does that translate in a bow? It looks something like this. So this is from the side, from the front view, and this is from the side. So it's nice and flat. Now, of course, I've been playing the violin for many, many years. So for me to hold the bow this way, my muscles are trained for this for a long time. It may be difficult for you to try to figure this out, right? So if you're learning how to hold a bow, do it vertically. I've talked about this on the channel many, many times. Practice vertically. So when it comes to violin tone specifically, if my hand is this way, right, I'm not getting the best sound, and also I'm not getting a straight bow. I want the wrist to be here. So that way, you already hear a huge difference as a result from here. And the moment I put my wrist down, I'm adding extra weight from my arm into my wrist, and I get a very solid grip of the bow onto the string. And this is going to help you particularly on the up bows. A lot of times I have violin students come into my studio and they are doing down bows really well, but their up bows are kind of weak. So having a wrist that is from here to there is going to help solve a lot of problems in articulation and violin tone quality. Now, another thing you want to consider is the location of the bow, right? So if I'm playing out here, I can still put my grip into the string and my wrist down. But the problem is once you get out into the fingerboard, the strings get closer together and the tension of the string is a lot different than compared to the tension of the string closer to the bridge. So if I'm pressing down into my wrist, you can hear that I'm playing multiple strings at the same time. So you want to be practicing your violin tone in a place where you're not going to be bothered by the other strings. So if I'm practicing an A, that's where I want to be to get that clear sound. And again, the wrist goes here, not there, because you're going to have trouble touching other strings. That's one of the key features here. Now, that's in terms of violin tone. Now, in terms of the flexibility, I find that having wrists that are flexible allow for smoother bow changes. So if I'm doing a down bow, you can see what my wrist is doing is kind of moving up and down, but it's not staying up here the entire time. So I'm letting the wrist be active in the bow changes. So I'm going to be doing a down bow. You can see how my wrist is actually guiding my fingers, not the other way around. My fingers are not guiding the wrist. So if I'm doing a down bow and an up bow, that is going to be really, really awesome for you to get that good tone and flexibility. Now, another thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the flexibility of the fingers. You want your fingers to be flexible in the whole equation of the right hand, because essentially the tone does come from the right hand. It comes from the bow. So when we are going this way, you can see how my fingers are moving a little bit this way. I'll give you a better look. Now in this view, you can see how my wrist is actively engaged. And the key here is you want your thumb to be relaxed. Generally, you want all the fingers to be curved and the thumb to be relaxed. You don't want to press into the thumb, because the thumb goes all the way here to the wrist. And then if you press your thumb into the bow, it's going to squeeze that wrist even more so than the other fingers. So really, really important that you have bent fingers. So when I'm doing a down bow, all the fingers are engaged and the wrist is allowing the fingers to help move back and forth. So I'm not moving my shoulder all too much. You can see my shoulders really relaxed. And if you feel tight in the shoulder, you just want to like roll your shoulders back a little bit and then just try it again. So see if you can just really feel the lat muscle underneath here, underneath your shoulder. So by allowing your wrist to be flexible, you're actually giving your wrist and your arm many different options to do what you want to do with your violin. Bow strokes, violin tone, smooth bow changes. Those are just a few of the benefits of having a flexible wrist. Now, if you're someone who struggles with bow holds in general and you want something that is in a condensed version, there are a lot of videos on YouTube, I understand, and I actually have a lot of videos on the channel here that you can watch. But if you want something that is in a more condensed version to help you get to the next step and actually get to your proficiency in violin bow holds faster, I actually recommend that you take a look at my violin bow hold course. It allows you to go step by step at your own pace in the comfort of your own home. And I'm going to leave a link down in the description below for you to take a look at and actually get the first free lesson on me. And also in the meantime, I really appreciate again that you subscribe and also check out some other videos that I have on the channel.